Morning. How's everybody doing? Good. Okay. All right. So, obviously, just keep pushing towards the end of the week for us. Our preparation here, trying to get ready to go, and keep getting things right. Try to go out and have a good game on Sunday. So, really kind of standard week for us. Just pushing through. We'll do red area today and work on some situational football and kind of wrap up the game plan and push into the weekend. So, just rolling along. What do we got?
28%, they're by far best in the NFL. What makes them so good in that tight space down there?
Yeah, they do a really good job. Obviously, they have an outstanding front, so they'll pack the box, they'll load it up. They have, really good safety fits in there with Smith. He'll be down in the box quite a bit. Play good, fundamental technique. The run defense down there is really good, which then forces you into the passing situations that they get them into. They're doing a really good job on early downs, creating negative plays, which then kind of gets you off track as an offense. And then obviously just like out in the field, when they can get an offense into a passing situation and kind of allow those pass rushers to, tee it up and get after the quarterback, along with their pressure packages and the different blitzes, similar to what they do on third down. Some of those things will show up in the red area. Then, they're just having a lot of success. So that early downs, kind of their, those negative plays, kind of the way that they're able to handle the run consistently is really kind of setting up some of the third down plays that they've been able to be real successful in and holding teams to, field goals in those situations.
I'm sure you prepare for just about every scenario imaginable. How often do you work like your backup long snapper in practice?
Yeah, we do all that stuff all the time. Obviously, when you have positions on your roster that are singular in manner, you always have a plan because it doesn't take much. A little bit different than, say, your linebacker core, which you might have a little bit more depth on the roster. So there's a lot of different guys rolling through and whatever you feel comfortable with from that standpoint. When you have different situations, quarterback, which is one guy out on the field at a time, kickers, long snappers, punters, you're always aware of, that situation where, one play could obviously alter that situation pretty quick. So you have to be prepared and ready to go. We have a couple guys in there that we use, so we'll kind of wait till Minnesota to try to figure that out. So,
Does that mean Don's?
No, because I know where you're going. No.
What's the challenge of preparing for a team that's changed coordinators this late in the season? You've only got one, game of film to go off of with the new guy.
Yeah, it definitely is a challenge. I think as we go through the season, this time of year, very different than the early part of the year. This is kind of like in the early part of the year when you're getting going, you're trying to get used to players and coordinators. The thing about this team, obviously, the players are who they are. They're obviously outstanding on that side of the ball. They have many different skill players they can get the ball to, the run game. The quarterback obviously does a great job of kind of managing that entire system. I would say this isn't like a wholesale change of philosophy of plays or terminology or something along those lines. It just might be a shift of, play caller, kind of just what his preferences are in certain situations. So some of those you try to play as honest as possible and make sure that defensively you're sound all the way across the board, that you can handle those situations. And like I said, they certainly have a lot of different players in different areas where, they can run the ball. Obviously, Cook and Murray, those guys are great. And then you have, all the skill in the wide receiver and the tight end position if they want to throw. So I think they played a really solid game last week. They balanced, themselves out, and they controlled the game in all three phases. And I think that's what they'll try to do, from that standpoint. But certainly, the more they can run the ball, then the better their play action game is set up. And then, kind of that's all how it fit together for them last week. If they have to go to a drop back game, or if that's what they're choosing to do from a game plan standpoint, they have plenty of weapons and scheme and all of that in place to be able to do that also. So. It's a challenge, but we know, who the players are. We know kind of what they want to do from a game plan standpoint. It's just going to be up to us to go execute at a high level.
Are you a believer in being able to sort of carry momentum over from this point in the season to next September? I mean, it's obviously a long gap.
Yeah, we're really, in the NFL, it's really one week at a time. It's really what it is, So you can get into a bunch of different hypotheticals about how this affects that and all that, and it really, in the end, every individual season is its own season. The NFL changes so much year to year, personnel, opponents. Everything. Everything changes. So, it's just different nowadays. I'd say it's just all about the season, and right now for us, it's all about this week.
Probably more at a micro level, though. Guys can figure some stuff out with maybe an increased opportunity that they could carry over to future performance.
Yeah, again, never speculate on future, but what we hope is in the short term of this week that we improve on what we did last week and we get better. So we're certainly going to be always looking for that, just like we do every single week, and then we'll do the same thing next week. So that's always a big point of emphasis for us on whoever's out on the field in whatever situation.
What advice would you give somebody that just wants to be a head coach, any level, they just want to go into coaching, coach a team?
Yeah.
What would the biggest piece of advice be?
I don't know. Probably just depends. I mean, it's kind of a just totally hypothetical question. I'm pretty focused on the Vikings right now. I got a lot of problems there, so we'll, can't really help you out there.
I doubt you're going to answer, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Given the emergency situation at long snapper, if that comes up, we don't see it too often in the NFL where emergency quarterbacks got to come up, but in the catastrophic situation, the two guys go down. I mean, who would be your guy under center, just out of curiosity?
Yep. Yeah, that's but that's a real conversation. A lot of teams have that. When you get those lists kind of before the game, sometimes you're wondering particular teams that you play that have two quarterbacks on their roster. So there's a form that we kind of fill out beforehand. And sometimes teams will list like their third quarterback maybe on there, so you kind of get a head start on that pregame sometimes.
I don't think the Vikings be preparing for that possibility, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, ask him. See what he's
Do
doing.
you guys list a third?
I don't know. We'll see.
You finished your Christmas shopping?
Say again?
You finished your Christmas shopping?
Yeah, Vikings. All right, everybody good? All right.